What does Aliyah Boston actually think about Caitlin Clark? And if you read between the lines of her latest comments, what does that say about Sheryl Swoopes, the loudest and most consistent Caitlin critic in the conversation? In a fresh appearance on Sue Bird's Bird's Eye View podcast, Boston pulled the curtain back in a way that felt more honest than polished, talking through everything from her first impressions of Caitlin back in college to what it has been like sharing the floor with her in Indiana, to how their partnership has grown over time, and even how she approached things when Clark got hurt. She also dropped a few locker room details that made the whole conversation even better. Are you excited to see Caitlin and Aliyah back on the court together? Then comment A, B, and CC down below.
What do you think, looking back on that season, so last season, was one of the biggest misconceptions of the Indiana Fever? Like, maybe it was like locker room stuff. I feel like early on,
oh my
like,
gosh, there was so much locker room talk. Oh my gosh, her body language. She was not happy. She hates this entire squad.
And remember the kind of stuff Sheryl Swoopes has been saying about Caitlin Clark?
People in the Fever were like, y'all.
That's not my point. There's a lot of other shit going on that players are like, this ain't where I want to be.
Over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some new
it's
shit going on around there.
It's a lot. Yeah. So you have players that are very significant on this Indiana Fever team that are like, I don't
want to be here.
This is where I want to be.
Yeah.
Well, Aliyah Boston's interview ended up feeling like the cleanest possible response to all that noise. No forced rant, no dramatic monologue. Just a calm but unmistakable reality check that put Swoopes' whole anti-Caitlin angle in an even worse light. When Caitlin Clark first got to Indiana, maybe nobody had a more interesting perspective than Aliyah Boston. She was not looking at Clark as some abstract media phenomenon. She had actually been on the other side of that experience in one of the biggest college matchups in recent memory, and she definitely had not forgotten what Caitlin did in that game. Boston basically admitted that the memory was impossible to ignore, because when somebody hangs 40 on your team in a Final Four setting, that tends to stick with you a little. And then suddenly, that same player becomes your teammate. That is not exactly a normal first day at work.
That year, I was like, I forgot, we were like doing something. We had something. I was like, Caitlin, I just want to say, I'm like really upset that you like did what you did in that Final Four game. I was like, I feel like I just need to get it off my chest because like we are teammates, but I'm like, you didn't have to do all that. Like you did not have to go for 40 on our dome. Like, girl, we could have just had fun. But after that, it was like cool because obviously now we're on the same team, so you don't worry about that. But I always thought it was funny because I'm like, we just went from competing against each other, you beating us, and now we're on the same team. It's like, I was like, girl, it's okay. I get it. I'm not mad at you for real, but I am. Because like, why would you do that?
What makes Boston's retelling so good is that instead of playing it like some awkward rivalry story, she turned it into something real, funny, and grounded. Her perspective on that moment says a lot about who she is. She did not get stuck in the old competition or carry that matchup around like baggage. She was able to move from opponent to teammate in a way that felt mature, honest, and refreshingly normal. The respect between her and Caitlin clearly did not take long to build. And once they actually started sharing the court, that connection only got stronger.
Girl,
you did the thing, made the joke, moved on. That's really what it is.
And then you kind of just move on. You're like, listen, we're on the same team now, so let's whoop some butt. Let's do it.
100%.
As the season went on, it became harder and harder to ignore just how natural their partnership looked. Boston talked about what makes it work, and it was not some shallow answer about just playing hard or having fun. She got into the real stuff: trust, timing, feel. Knowing when to cut, when to roll, when to seal, and when the pass is coming without needing to wave your arms and beg for the ball. That is what separates a duo that looks decent from one that starts giving defenses real problems.
Well, you guys do complement each other. Yeah. And I hear you that it takes time, but like, what do you think it is about each of your games that works well? Like, mostly in the pick and roll. We'll talk pick and roll.
I think honestly, one, like Caitlin, the attention she gets, right? Like teams are like up. Like if they're under and dropped, that shot's going up. Because I'm going to set a good screen, that shot's going up and she's getting it. And then it's like, okay, well, now I'm going to step up. And she's just a phenomenal passer. Like her angles, like she knows exactly where to get it.
And when you really think about what she was describing, it says a lot about both players. Caitlin's vision is elite. Aliyah's instincts and positioning are elite. And together, they are learning how to read each other in real time at a level that makes the whole thing look almost automatic. One of the best details from the interview was Aliyah explaining that she watches Caitlyn's eyes to help decide what she should do next. That is not random chemistry. That is high-level basketball intelligence meeting high-level basketball intelligence. That kind of connection does not usually go backward. It gets more dangerous.
The way she sees the floor, I think, is great. And then for me, it's always like, I'm always going to get in her pocket because I know that she's looking to pass that ball and she wants to get us in the best position. And so for me, it's like, okay, well, I'm looking at your eyes. So once I see your eyes, I'm there. You don't have to say anything. I'm going.
Of course, when Caitlin Clark arrived in Indiana, it was never just about adding one talented rookie to a roster. Her presence changed the attention level around the entire team overnight. Suddenly, every possession felt like it was being examined under a microscope, and the pressure around the Fever shot through the roof. Boston talked about how chaotic those first weeks really were. New system, new rhythm, new expectations, and almost no patience from the outside world. Instead of being allowed to grow together like a young team, they were being judged like some superstar group that was already supposed to have everything figured out.
The quote-unquote Caitlin Clark effect is definitely real. I think we all feel it in our unique ways.
100%.
Yeah. How did you experience it? Like, I know early on you talked about logging off social media. Like, what did you just learn in that period of time? And by the way, the social media aspect is not Caitlin's fault.
No.
So it's like, but what did you learn just like in that period of time?
Yeah, I mean, everyone loves Caitlin. They love watching Caitlin. Yeah. And so I think that just brings so much eyes. And I think for our league, that's great. Like, that is great for us. You have so many people coming in, they're watching. Like I always say, like, they might come in for Caitlin and they leave and they're like, dang, this girl's a hooper too.
Yeah.
Oh, I like her. Like,
you're seeing it
hear
in
so many people say it. You hear, like, everyone says it. And I think you just kind of embrace that.
And the media environment around it all only made things worse. Every missed pass became a storyline. Every awkward possession became proof of some bigger issue. Random people online were studying facial expressions and body language like they were breaking down film for the playoffs. For Boston, it got exhausting. She already puts enough pressure on herself as it is. The last thing she needed was a bunch of strangers trying to turn her relationship with a teammate into some internet mystery while the season was still taking shape. So she did the smartest thing possible. She checked out of the noise.
Well, a lot of it too can be people that are trolling. A lot of people are talking. But for me, it's like, I am someone that already puts so much pressure on myself. And so for you to come in and tell me like, dang, you're like the worst post I've ever seen in my life. It's like, you know what? Hear me out. I'm going to leave.
Yeah.
You can stay. I'm going to exit.
Yeah. What matters most, though, is that Aliyah never pointed any of that frustration at Caitlin. In fact, she did the opposite. She gave Clark credit for the way she has helped elevate the league, brought in attention, and handled a spotlight that would crush a lot of people. What Boston pushed back against was the fantasy that two young stars are supposed to build elite chemistry instantly just because the public wants it to happen. That is not how basketball works. That is not how trust works. And now that they have had real time to grow together, the difference is obvious every time they step on the court. Then came the internet drama, or at least the version of drama that only really exists online.
Well, there's a lot of play more. What kind of things do you feel?
I'm not in the locker room.
Okay. But just
I'm talking about more social media.
Okay.
It's a
turn.
Right?
It's a turn, right? It's really a turn of the tides.
Well,
right?
Gil, here's my point. The beginning of the year, right? Everybody saw it.
All of a sudden, people started whispering about supposed locker room tension. Rumors were flying around about bad chemistry, personal issues, silence, coldness, all the usual made-up nonsense. Fans and even parts of the media acted like they had solved some giant mystery. Meanwhile, Aliyah Boston was apparently just waking up from a nap and finding out the internet had written an entire soap opera without asking anybody on the team. Her reaction was perfect. She saw the chaos, laughed about it with her teammates, and basically hit them with a simple, "Y'all good?" That tells you everything you need to know about how real that supposed tension actually was.
Oh my gosh, there was so much locker room talk, and
everybody I talked to were like, we vibe, we're good.
I was like, what are we talking about? Like, It's so easy for people to just make all these assumptions. Some people are like, oh my gosh, her body language, she was not happy. She hates this entire squad. I don't know. Sometimes when you have a bad game personally, that takes a toll on you.
Yeah.
It's 100%. Not that you don't like the team. It's not like you, but that takes a toll on you. Every single night we come out, we want to play good. And so like all the time there were locker room talks. I forgot what was the conversation one time. I woke up from my nap, getting ready to go to pregame. People are like, oh, they hate each other. They hate each other. We walked in the locker room. We're like, girl, you good?
Yeah.
I'm like, I just woke up. I couldn't tell you what's happening right now, but all I know is we about to hoop. At 7 p.m., we got a game.
Boston made it pretty clear that all those outside narratives were just that. Narratives. Noise, fiction with a Wi-Fi signal. The reality inside Indiana was much simpler and much stronger. The team was together, locked in, and focused on winning. The Fever were not just protecting the locker room as a concept, they were protecting each other. While people on the outside kept inventing stories, the players kept building real chemistry where it mattered most, on the floor, possession by possession.
I hate when people get into this whole talking about what they think our locker room is like and what they think. I'm like, first of all, you're not in here.
No.
So you have no idea. And also, we're professionals. So if we want you to see something, you'll happily see it. If we don't, I guarantee you, you would never know there's a single problem. Why? Because that's none of your business and we have more priorities and that's winning.
So for all the internet detectives, amateur lip readers, and couch analysts who were convinced they had uncovered some grand truth about Caitlin Clark and Aliyah Boston, this interview was a pretty brutal correction. Because what is really developing in Indiana is not dysfunction. It is not resentment. It is not some behind-the-scenes feud. It is a legit partnership. And if the rest of the league is paying attention, that should worry them a lot more than any fake drama ever could. The Fever's return to the playoffs in 2024 was brief. But for Aliyah Boston, it was far from meaningless. When she looks back on that series against Connecticut, you can hear both pride and frustration, because Indiana was not that far away. Game 1 slipped away, but Game 2 was there to be taken. In Aliyah's view, the difference was not talent, it was experience. Connecticut had veterans who understood playoff pressure, knew when to strike, and knew how to close. That was the lesson she took from it.
What did you learn from it?
It's like, we say it all the time in our season now, like margin of error is so small, but when you're going up against a squad that has vets that have been in playoffs, that have won, it's like they know exactly what to do.
Did you feel a jump in there was
a jump in intensity and energy.
Isn't it crazy?
It's insane. Like the very first game when we played against Connecticut, like it was close and then they kind of just, they took it and they ran with it. And then the second game, it was like, we were right there. Like we were right there. And then I feel like
that kind of feeling changes a team. It is one thing to reach the playoffs. It is another to walk away thinking you were right on the edge of something bigger and never got a full chance to prove it. For Boston, that feeling became fuel, not comfort.
Because honestly, I think if we had brought it back to Indy, we were gonna get it. No, we were, because we had just beat them at home. So it's still one of those that's like, dang, if we could have just gotten to that third game, I think we really would have came out and just went bananas. But I think it was a great experience for us. And obviously like this year now too, we're like, listen, playoff run, like we need that. You feel it now, you're like, I need more.
Now the mindset is different. No more underdog framing. No more hoping to surprise people. With the off-season additions, the new coaching staff, and Caitlin Clark back as the center of attention when healthy, Indiana is expected to win. That comes with pressure, but it also brings purpose. Everyone is circling the Fever now, and Boston sounds like someone who welcomes that. This team is not trying to sneak up on anybody anymore.
It's a lot of change.
Yes.
You have a coaching change.
Yep.
You have it's a big free agency year for you guys. And really overnight, what that big free agency year was, or big change was expectations change.
Yes.
So you guys went from like this up and coming, where it's like you're getting to know each other, to now it's like, oh, they could win the whole thing.
Yeah.
So what was the experience of essentially becoming like, instead of being the hunter, you're now the hunted?
Yeah, it's crazy, but I feel like it was definitely expected. Like,
of course, the 2025 season did not unfold the way Indiana imagined. The expectations were huge, and then injuries hit, especially to Caitlin Clark. For a young team still building its identity, losing a player like that could have wrecked everything. But one thing Boston made clear is that this group did not panic. The message from the start was simple: next woman up.
But then you added in Caitlyn, right? And everybody's like, oh, like they're going to be this, and this. And now everybody's like, oh, you know what? We're going to prove you wrong. Like, yeah, hell no. Like, that's how it is. And then this year too, obviously we go in the free agency and everybody's like, yeah, like they got, for us, we always think like you have to approach every season with like, we're winning this whole season. So that was our mindset. And I think when you look at expectations, once again, expectations come from everyone outside. Cause like in our circle, we know exactly what we want to do. We also understand that it's a process. We understand that new faces, new coaches, like different style play for people joining us. It's like people need time to figure it out once again. But when you do figure it out, it's going to be scary.
That was not just a slogan. It became their survival plan. Injuries are part of the league, but excuses are not. Whether it is a starter or a role player, the expectation stays the same. Be ready. Step in. Help the team. Boston made it clear that this mentality has been a huge reason the Fever kept competing even when the lineup kept shifting around them.
It's definitely been a struggle, but I think just at the start of the season too, like, you know, you have your start of the season meetings and you're talking, and for us it was about, listen, like no matter what happens in the season, it's next woman up and you have to be ready. And I feel like obviously struggling with injuries, and then, you know, you sign people and then they leave, and it's like, listen, like whoever is next, be ready to play, because it doesn't matter. Like the games still keep coming. Like you still have to be ready to
Still, losing Caitlin Clark is not some normal roster adjustment. It changes the whole feel of the game. Boston talked about how different it is with Clark on the floor versus without her, and it says a lot about Caitlin's impact. When Clark plays, everything speeds up. The ball moves quicker, the tempo rises. Defenses get stretched farther and pressured earlier. Aliyah summed it up perfectly. When Caitlin is playing, be ready to run.
Curious, specific to Caitlyn being on the floor, off the floor. And I saw you talk on your own podcast about like the spacing and how different it is. But when you're entering a game, like your mental prep, how does it change? Because it's two different systems essentially.
It is.
Without Clark, Indiana has to play a different style. The pace slows. The offense becomes more half-court, more deliberate, and more dependent on working through multiple options. Boston did not act like that was a disaster. She framed it as an adjustment the team had to learn. It is not better or worse, just different. And learning to function in both systems has made the Fever tougher and more flexible.
Honestly, like when C is on the floor, I'm like, listen, be ready to run. Be ready to get out. Be ready because she's looking. She's looking. Going. She wants to play fast. Super early in the offense. And like we do that too as well here. But I think sometimes too now without her, like we can get into like a little more half court execution, make the defenses work a little bit harder, first side, second side, third side. And then I think when you have like Kelsey, when Kelsey's playing in transition, get that ball up to her and make her
I've never seen anybody so bouncy.
Like she is unbelievable.
And then when you put her in
screens, it's like, what do you do?
Bouncing all over.
She is moving. She's making the right read. And it's like, listen, and she's scoring the ball at a very high level. And
there is also the emotional side of it. Boston admitted it is hard watching a teammate go down, especially someone as competitive and as central to the group as Caitlyn. But she also knows Clark will be back, and that belief keeps the team going. Every game they grind through now matters. Every ugly win matters. Every adjustment matters. It all adds up to being more prepared when the team is whole again.
When C's on the floor, like she's looking to get up, people can be like, listen, I don't need to outlet because I know once we rebound, we're getting it up. But I also think it, once again, it's like puts people on their toes because they're like, whoa, I need to find Kelsey in transition. I need to find Ari now. Like we got to find Sophie and Lexi knocking down threes. Like it's different, but I think everyone is once again finding their own rhythm, and that we just did a great job of like putting it all together.
So even though 2025 has been messy, Indiana has turned the adversity into something useful. They are learning how to adapt, how to trust each other, and how to win when things do not look clean. Sometimes that is how real contenders get built. And when the Fever are fully healthy again, all of this chaos may end up looking less like misfortune and more like preparation. On paper, the injuries should have broken them. Instead, they have kept fighting. And in the middle of all of it, Aliyah Boston has been exactly what Stephanie White called her, the Rock. She has balanced toughness with steadiness and shown what happens when a team refuses to let adversity define it. That is really the story here. Aliyah Boston did not just survive the pressure, the injuries, and the non-stop noise around Caitlin Clark, including those made by haters like Sheryl Swoopes. She grew through it. Alongside Clark and the rest of the Fever, she has helped turn doubt into fuel and setbacks into identity. Indiana is not some feel-good side story anymore. They are real, they are dangerous, and they still look like a team with another level coming. Are you excited to see Caitlin and Aliyah back on the court together? Then comment A, B, and CC down below. Subscribe and turn on all notifications so you never miss out. Click the video on the screen, and we will see you in the next one.